What's going on, YouTube? This is Eclipse Comics. Thanks for tuning in to my YouTube channel. It's Friday night here in the man cave, and gonna do a video. It's gonna be a contest update. I got some books I want to show off that I got recently in a haul, and just a few other things. I don't really have any particular order. It's Friday night. I had a long week at work, as I'm sure you guys did, and so it's just gonna be comic talk off the cuff. But first, I want to give you guys a contest update. It's Friday night. Contest comes to an end. I'm supposed to be doing a video tomorrow to pull names and announce a winner. The one caveat that I had about the contest was a minimum of 10. I put together a nice prize pool of an array of different things. And unfortunately, we didn't get to 10. So no harm, no foul. I was only at 50 subscribers when I decided to do the contest. I had just recently entered 2 other YouTube channel folks, their contest. And I guess I had a little contest fever as a result, so I decided to do one myself. It was fun watching everyone else's videos and stuff like that, but perhaps I jumped the gun on that and did it a little bit early, but it's no big deal. I'm still going to continue to do my thing. Much love to the people who did decide to enter, and I wanted to, as a thank you for taking time out of your lives to make a video, I still want to give you guys a small ROAK, pardon, random act of kindness, RAOK, bam, I got it the third, three's a charm. A random act of kindness for Comic Order 410, to Mua, Don the Comic Book Junkie, Reaper Tate, and Liking the Covers. Those guys were kind enough to do a contest video, and they were fantastic videos. All of these guys, most of you I'm sure already subbed to them, but if you're not, you should definitely be subbed to these guys that I just mentioned. Not because they did an entry for my contest, but because they're just genuinely nice guys. They're people who seem to really put community matters in the forefront of what they do, and they're an asset to the community, in my opinion. I'm going to link to all 5 of those channels in the bottom of this video, so please follow Comic Order 410, to Mua, Don the Comic Book Junkie, Reaper Tate, and Liking the Covers. And Reaper, I believe, has a few numbers after his name, which I didn't write down. I apologize. But again, all of that information will be in the info section below the video. So I'm going to also have my email address there, guys. Please shoot me an email with your address, and I'd love to send you just a small little care package as a token of my appreciation for, taking the time out to make those videos that you guys did. You guys did great, and I'm appreciative. So now that I got the contest update out of the way, I wanted to show some comic books that I got. So one guy that was selling some nice trades, I bought 3 of them. Each were $9.99. One of them I'm not going to show off tonight because I want to do a separate video and include that one. But the one item that was there was old school TSR. If you guys remember Dungeons and Dragons, this one is book 1 of a 4-issue trade paperback series that they did. These look brand spanking new, like they've never been read, and this is a relatively thick plastic, so and it also was written by, or adapted by, I should say, Roy Thomas from Marvel and the Conan series. He was an editor for many years, and then Thomas Yeats. So this is book 1 of this Dragonlance saga, and then book 2. I always liked Dungeons and Dragons, World of Warcraft, Lord of the Rings. If it's orcs and dwarves and elves, that stuff has always been appealing to me. So now I got to get the other 2. There's a total of 4. I need 3 and 4, but for $9.99, these look like they've never even been read. I thought that was a good deal. So the other one that I got from that same seller was a book that was a hardcover book that was done by Dynamic Forces out of New Jersey. And it's a $30 book, which I got for $9.99. The Romita Legacy. And it looks like it also, I read the back briefly, not just on John Romita Sr. and his legacy from his contributions to Spider-Man in the Silver Age and even the Bronze Age, and many other, things, not just Spider-Man. But John Romita is a legend. But his son also, became very popular, as you know, in the comic book world. So it's written by a guy named Tom Spurgeon. Truthfully, I don't know who this man is, but it also has an introduction by Alex Ross. So I look forward to reading this because I like John Romita, both of them, and so that looks like it'll be a nice read. So that was from one seller. Then another lot that I got, just like trash comics, that were just reader copies for me. Total of 4. The guy had a lot, and he was also kind enough to throw in 2 freebies, Bronze Age stuff. I'll show the 2 freebies real quick. I don't know what these are, but I'll give them a go just for shits and gigs. Seeker 3000 and Torpedo, Marvel Presents, and both are Marvel Premiere. So this is Bronze Age stuff here, 1977. And, guy was kind enough to throw in 2 freebies. Again, these are kind of beat up. I don't necessarily need them to be in good condition to enjoy them. Giant size supervillain team up. Like you can see, look at this. It's got a rip in the back here. But again, just for fun reading. Giant size supervillain team up number 1 with Submariner on the cover and Doctor Doom. That would be a Submariner with his head still intact. And then Alice Cooper got his own comic book. I don't know if this was an ongoing series or a one-shot, but looked like a fun read. I believe it's based on an album that he might have done or a song, and it's kind of like playing that out, but I'm not familiar with his music. I know that he is a musician and did a lot of rock and roll, but I figured that'd be a fun read. But the main reason why I got that lot was because I wanted to read these. These are the 2 Marvel Premiere issues right before the Scott Lang becomes the Ant-Man in Marvel Premiere number 47. That's when Scott Lang becomes Ant-Man. These are the 2 issues before that. And basically they're the Man-Wolf. Marvel Premiere 45 and 46. So this is the first issue. And it does feature some artwork by George Perez. These 2 issues here, where did they go? These 2 issues of Marvel Premiere are after Wolfman's run in The Amazing Spider-Man. We all know that this is Jonah Jameson's son. He's a military guy, Cole Jameson. And again, it features some artwork from George Perez. It's nice because the story tells, basically how he got his powers, what exactly happened to him, to John Jameson, and ends up being that when he is here, he just has his primal force and is a raging beast. But when he's in our realm, he doesn't have, thinking capacity and so forth. But he possesses a gem, which, people in a different realm refer to him as the Star God. And apparently when those people and their kingdom are in trouble, the prophecy is that the Man-Wolf will return home to his kingdom. And when he is there, he is able to think. He has all of his power in its completion. And he basically aids these people to get rid of a tyrant who is doing bad in that realm. And it's a pretty good story. It's a 2-story arc, but it also features some fantastic artwork. And this is a nice middle, the middle pages, one big spread during one of the battles. It was very nice. And then there's also a beautiful pinup at the very end before the next issue. And it shows him basically stating that they're gonna feel the vengeance of Man-Wolf. And if you see that little gem glowing under his neck, that is the stone that he found out in space, and John Jameson, that is, in which gave him his powers. And people in the States don't know that he's missing, and it's a good story. So, if you could pick these things up for $2-3 or whatever, it's worth a read. If you like the idea of the Man-Wolf. So Another book I got recently too, just again for reading purposes, is this old school Eclipse, well not old school, but early 90s Eclipse book from Eclipse Comics, Dinosaurs Attack. And it also features on this project, if you can see there, Herb Trimps, rest in peace, Herb Trimpe. He had an involvement in this. And of course, if you remember, in the late 1980s, these were the Topps trading cards, where the comic book that I just showed are the stories basically being derived from. And these were pretty wild, you know. I mean, they were relatively graphic for some little kids. Showed humans, you know, basically getting chomped the hell up by dinosaurs. So these were cool. If you guys saw the recent video that I did about old school wax wrappers, I basically do you know, a timeline of old school wax wrappers like this, just the wrappers, which I've collected over the years, going from 19 90, and then all the way back quite far back, but watch the video to check it out. But you know, I've always enjoyed collecting packs, and so when I found out that they also did a combo, now it says 1 of 3. To the best of my understanding, for whatever reason, this did not get past 1 issue. It was a failed project, I think. Now, if I am wrong and they did do issues 2 and 3, please feel free to let me know in the comments. But I thought that I read somewhere that they only got to issue 1. So that's that with regards to some of the books. I recently started writing for a website called entertainmentbuddha.com. I have a number of years in writing, and you know, I wrote about different things, but recently I decided that I wanted to start writing about, you know, my passion, comic books and pop culture, and I did a nice piece, over 1,000 words, on the Contest of Champions, not just the old school 1982 limited series 3 issues with John Romita Jr., written by Greenwald and Manilow, but also the new series, which is currently out, which kind of started as a result of the popularity of the web mobile game. I'll show these one by one because apparently I'm a retard when it comes to holding up things in front of a camera. All right, so this is the first issue. This was like, I think they were doing a special Monsters month where they were like doing covers homages to, like, you know, old monster type movies. And this was the only one that my local had. I wasn't particularly fired up about this cover, but I wanted to read the story because I remember when I was a young kid getting my hands, not in 82, but years later when I got my hands on these. I very much enjoyed this and the whole concept behind it. So when I saw that they were doing it over again, an ongoing series, I read, you know, had it on my pull list, and I've been reading them as I go. So that was issue number 1. This is issue number 2, cover with Ares battling Maestro. And if you don't know about him, check out my article. So what I do is always my most current piece for entertainmentbuddha.com. If you go to my Twitter page, which is really the only social media that I have, you know, to be honest, with the exception of YouTube. But Twitter's kind of the only thing that I use. And the most current article is always pinned to my feed. So check out if you want to read, you know, my thoughts on in a more deep way on the Contest of Champions. I go pretty in depth there. This is issue 3. Issue 4, Stick battling Elektra. Stick being the teacher and guy who put Daredevil on with the martial arts. And then issue number 5, the current one. 6 comes out in March. So I've been enjoying this series. It's a little bit different from the first issue in that, you know, the first issue, it was the Grandmaster basically doing a deal with death. This issue, and the first one, the goal for Grandmaster and his champions to win was so that he could resurrect his brother, who is the Collector. And the Collector is the one who is kind of spearheading this contest so far, and his opponent is his brother, and they're battling for something called the the ISO 8 sphere or something like that. And, you know, the winner gets that, and they have endless, gobs of power. So that's been a fun series that I've been reading, and I just thought that if you enjoyed the first series from 1982, that it's worth checking out the current series that's going on. I've been enjoying it. And feel free to check out that article that I told you about on entertainmentbuddha.com. Some other things that I picked up recently in let's see here, 1998, Skybox Trading Cards did a series dedicated of trading cards dedicated to the Silver Age, and it was called the Silver Age. And they had some really cool cards that showed, comic book characters painted, in Silver Age fashion. They had sketch cards inserted into the pack, sketches that were done by guys like Sal Buscema and other artists. And then they had pull cards with artist signatures on them. Stan Lee, Tom Palmer. This was at a time when John Buscema was still alive, and so he also signed some cards. I always regret that, and this may be selfish, forgive me, but, when CGC kind of came onto the scene and, people started getting comic book signed signature series, John Buscema had already passed, but, it would have been nice to have been able to have some authenticated comic books, because he, referred to as the Michelangelo of comics. And, he did some absolutely beautiful, beautiful books over the years. So I was able to get my hands, one of my favorite artists is John Romita. And so he had his own autographed card in this 1998 Skybox The Silver Age. And, you usually see 2 or 3 of these at a time on eBay. Some guys want 60-something. Some guys will charge, I've never seen them really go for less than like 60-something bucks. Most of the time they are straight price. But this guy was doing it in an auction, and I was like, I'm going to try to get this for as cheap as I can. And with shipping and everything, I ended up getting this for 25 bucks. And this is an authenticated signature. It was pulled out of the pack, and you can't see it, but it has like a notary stamp almost, from Skybox to state that it's official. I love John Romita, so I was happy to get this trading card. And then I also got an autograph series of Sal Buscema. That's not a sketch of him, that's drawn on the card, but then there's the actual signature. And there was a signature one with his brother in the series. I didn't get that yet, but hopefully I will someday. I would love to buy a box of these, but I've never seen a sealed box go for less than 500 bucks. In fact, I've seen them go for 600-700 bucks. And I've yet to see anyone just selling single packs. Very unlikely. Maybe at a con or something, I don't know. But usually on eBay and stuff, you could get a box of these. I'd love to pick one up, but I'm not dropping 500-600 bucks for it. So I'll just pick up, cards as I can. And, I was happy to get this one specifically for 25 bucks. So that's pretty cool, I thought. And what else did I want to talk about as we wrap up here? One thing that I have, when this came out, Turtle Power documentary about a year ago, which kind of is an inside documentary on the Ninja Turtles. It involved some guys that really just had a passion for what Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird did, and they did a full-on documentary. And I believe, it's pretty comprehensive. There are interviews in it. I haven't watched it yet. I'm kind of like, oh, well, I want to take another wrapper. I know that's silly, right? But, I've always said, oh, I'll get another one, But anyway, I'll watch it eventually, or I'll buy a second one, But with that, on the Mirage Studio website, they had like a package, like a grab bag package, if you will, as a result of that DVD coming out. And one of the things that was in there was this portfolio of old school, like late 1980s, pictures, posters, if you will, of different artists, as you can see here. I'll read it real quick. Ryan Brown, Michael Dooney, Kevin Eastman, Peter Laird, Steve Levine, James Lawson, Mark Martin, and Eric Talbot. A lot of the guys who were the dedicated crew and staff of Mirage Studios, the original home of the Ninja Turtles. So I've there's one in here that I really have been wanting to like look at because I remember from the website how cool it looked, and I'm finally ready to take the plastic out and maybe try to find a frame for it or something that I could do to hang it on my wall down here. So I'll show you each of these real quick and then we're done. Alright, so it came in a little presentation folder. And they're basically just individual photo prints on cardboard stock, like, you know, poster paper. This one here is, I think, Ryan Brown. Who did this? This is, who is this? Steve Levine, 1988. Ninja Nutcase. Crazy turtle on an old Volkswagen chasing Splinter down. Next one is by Ryan Brown, 1989. That could be Raphael or Michelangelo, I don't know. Doesn't rocking the Metallica t-shirt. Eric Talbot, 1989. Turtles and Casey Jones. Donatello, and another turtle by Michael Dooney. This guy's one of my favorite artists, by the way. Michael Dooney has done some great, you know, if you guys ever checked out the Teenage Ninja Turtles Volume 4 series, which was basically just still Mirage, no Eastman, Peter Laird, and Steve Levine, or Jim Lawson rather, I think were the guys that were involved mostly in Volume 4, but it featured a lot of beautiful painted covers by Michael Dooney. So he's a pretty cool artist. I met him at a con once, had him sign a trade paperback that he did. Jim Lawson, this is Raphael. This was a little bit hard to see. Standing on a smokestack with his size out. This is pretty cool. Homage to Coolidge. Playing some poker. Turtles at the poker table. And this last one, or second, okay, this one here is by Kevin Eastman. April O'Neil and Casey Jones with the 4 turtles spray painted on some brick building or something. That's a pretty cool one. Classic Eastman. 1989. And this was the one that I really wanted. And still doesn't say who did it. Peter Laird. Huh. Go figure. The one that I like most is by Peter. Not surprised by that. So this looks like they're in outer space. It may be difficult to see. I'll see if I can take a picture of this and you know, maybe include it at the end of the video. But it looks like they're out in space, and there is some kind of a mechanical structure there, and the turtles are like checking it out. But I was really drawn to this particular photo, and that's why I decided to open this tonight. Maybe I'll frame this or something like that. So that's pretty much it. Thanks for tuning into my video. Sorry that my contest didn't work out and there wasn't a winner. You know, I'll do another one down the line. This one perhaps was a little bit premature. I was at 50 subscribers when I, you know, decided to do that. Maybe I should have waited to 100 or my 1-year anniversary. But I'll do another one down the line at some point. Again, I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch my videos and allowing me to kind of just geek out a little bit here in my basement. And I hope you guys enjoy your weekend. And I'll catch you guys down the line.